issue, and every gay person is different. And I think that to speak the church, the black church or white church or any kind of church you want to call it, are all the same is totally. I'm okay because I never told you I was perfect.
Although T.D. Jakes has always been a stronghold of religion and authority, his world is currently coming apart. More video from Diddy's party has emerged than anyone could have predicted. T.D. Jakes is searching for answers after shocking discoveries regarding the two men's connections surfaced following a recent arrest. What took place in the background? And why is this preacher all of a sudden frightened? Discover the connections and mysteries that could potentially entangle T.D. Jakes in a controversy from which he may never fully recover by watching this video. But before we get into the current circumstances that have brought T.D. Jakes even more attention from the public, let's take a time to review the history between these two significant personalities, Diddy and T.D. Jakes' relationship. Their relationship began more than 10 years ago, and in 2010 their affinity became apparent to the public. That's when Diddy started introducing his audience to T.D. Jakes' spiritual teachings. Some thought it strange that Diddy, a well-known hip-hop tycoon known for his extravagant parties and opulent lifestyle, would associate with a well-known Christian bishop. Nevertheless, it was evident that Diddy valued T.D. Jakes' lessons, and the two appeared to have a special bond. Their connection became even more well-known by 2022. For a television series titled Kingdom Culture with T.D. Jakes, T.D. Jakes collaborated with Diddy's Revolt TV network. Through the show, T.D. Jakes was able to reach a wider audience by taking his ministry outside of conventional religious settings and into popular media. When Diddy specifically mentioned T.D. Jakes by name in his acceptance speech for the BET Lifetime Achievement Award, their bond solidified. They also started going to each other's prestigious gatherings, such as birthday celebrations, which gave their relationship a more social component. But there have been difficulties with this relationship. T.D. Jakes has frequently been questioned about his relationship to Diddy, especially when their relationship was made public by the media. T.D. Jakes' presence at Diddy's 53rd birthday celebration in Los Angeles in 2022 was one such instance that sparked criticism. Some Christians questioned whether the bishop's attendance at the party was suitable after a video of him there went viral. Considering Diddy's well-known preference for lavish, somewhat boisterous parties, many people were skeptical of T.D. Jakes' presence. Why would a man of God attend a gathering like this? In an attempt to set the record straight, T.D. Jakes' Entertainment Executive Vice President, Derek Williams, said that T.D. Jakes was in town on business and that their participation at the party was just fleeting. Williams claims that the bishop's visit was only motivated by reverence for Diddy, who was once Revolt's chairman. Williams attempted to minimize the uproar surrounding the video by emphasizing further that T.D. Jakes had only ever attended one party hosted by Diddy. These justifications didn't stop the incident from raising more concerns and objections. Every decision T.D. Jakes makes is closely watched because he is a public person, particularly when it seems to conflate secular and religious life. Then the lawsuits started coming in, which made things even more confusing for T.D. Jakes. Christian music producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones filed a lawsuit in March 2023 citing T.D. Jakes' relationship with Diddy. According to the lawsuit, Diddy intended to exploit his friendship with T.D. Jakes as a way to handle the ramifications from the well-publicized legal dispute he was involved in with Cassie Ventura, his ex-partner. Numerous significant allegations against Diddy were made in Cassie's lawsuit, which only increased the public scrutiny of him. The lawsuit included detailed allegations of drug usage, sexual misbehavior, and other criminal actions at Diddy's properties, painting a worrisome picture of Diddy's behavior. This made T.D. Jakes' relationship with Diddy even more complicated. Although T.D. Jakes may have once advised Diddy spiritually, the media started to wonder if his relationship with the hip-hop entrepreneur had become excessive. Was Diddy using T.D. Jakes, consciously or unknowingly, to cushion the blow of these accusations? Even though T.D. Jakes' involvement in any of Diddy's legal disputes has not been confirmed, the idea that Diddy may have intended to use T.D. Jakes' influence generated a great deal of media conjecture. Once more, TD Jakes was at the center of a scandal that wasn't even his own, but it brought attention to his relationship with Diddy. When TD Jakes became embroiled in yet another round of accusations about Diddy's parties in late 2023, the scrutiny reached a breaking point. The rumors turned much darker this time. Unverified rumors started making the rounds on the internet, claiming that TD Jakes had acted inappropriately at Diddy's parties. Some social media users sensationalized the charges, saying that TD Jakes had engaged in sexual assault at Diddy's gatherings. These assertions gained enormous traction, especially on websites like YouTube and TikTok. Even though the rumors were completely false, they soon became the main topic of conversation on the internet. Now, TD Jakes, a devout guy with a sizable worldwide following, was forced to publicly confront these shocking charges. TD Jakes refuted the rumors emphatically in an internet webcast Christmas Eve speech. He was very clear that the accusations would not detract from his message of faith or cause him to lose focus on his ministry. TD Jakes blasted the propagandists in his speech, emphasizing that even in the worst-case scenario, one would only need to truly confess their sins. But he insisted that since the rumors were unfounded, there was no need for contrition. Reiterating his belief in the power of God and his faith, TD Jakes made it clear that he would not allow lies to stop him from completing his goal. He reassured his audience that he was okay and that they should concentrate on praising God, telling them not to worry about him. Worse, rumors circulated that some of the widely shared films accusing TD Jakes were artificial intelligence manipulated. According to NBC News, a number of these videos further muddied the waters and disseminated misinformation by using AI-generated content to suggest that TD Jakes had engaged in scandalous activity. In response, TD Jakes' team denounced the untrue accusations and reiterated that the bishop was unrelated to Diddy's alleged misconduct. They drew attention to the fact that these AI-generated videos were a part of a wider campaign of disinformation that was aimed at prominent people and used manipulated material to damage their image. The issue is still tense in spite of TD Jakes' emphatic denials. Even if the accusations are unfounded, they have left a lasting impression on his public persona. Some now perceive his relationship with Diddy as a disadvantage, although at one point it was seen as a smart cooperation for promoting his message. Diddys Detention Diddy's legal issues have become more complicated, and this has had an impact on many different industries, including the ones TD Jakes works in. The 1999 violent brawl between Diddy and Steve Stoute, NASA's former manager, was one of the most contentious events. After watching the final cut, Diddy, who was just featured in a contentious sequence in Nas' music video, became furious. He responded by storming into Stoute's office with two others and attacking him violently. After Stoute later launched a lawsuit, Diddy reached a $500,000 settlement. Diddy avoided major legal repercussions from this episode, but it did set the stage for the public to become aware of his impatience and impatience. This episode was merely the beginning of a sequence of more serious incidents in Diddy's life that would eventually cast doubt on his morality and judgment. In December 1999, Diddy got into a severe confrontation once more, this time at a nightclub in Manhattan. Later that year, Diddy, his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez, and rapper Shine were at the center of the controversy when shooting broke out throughout the evening after an argument. Diddy was detained on weapons-related charges after it was alleged that he had paid his driver money to claim the pistol that had been discovered there. After Stoute later launched a lawsuit, Diddy reached a $500,000 settlement. Diddy avoided major legal repercussions from this episode, but it did set the stage for the public to become aware of his impatience and impatience. This episode was merely the beginning of a sequence of more serious incidents in Diddy's life that would eventually cast doubt on his morality and judgment. In December 1999, Diddy got into a severe confrontation once more, this time at a nightclub in Manhattan. Later that year, Diddy, his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez, and rapper Shine were at the center of the controversy when shooting broke out throughout the evening after an argument. Diddy was detained on weapons-related charges after it was alleged that he had paid his driver money to claim the pistol that had been discovered there. Diddy avoided legal consequences once more, this time around being found not guilty of all charges despite the intense media coverage of the trial and the seriousness of the charges. Shine, his protege, did not have the same luck. He was found guilty and given a 10-year prison sentence. Diddy's relationship with Lopez ended as a result of this incident, which also strengthened his reputation for being associated with contentious violent occurrences. Even after these well-publicized court cases, Diddy's life continued to be the subject of ongoing media scrutiny. He was detained once more in 2001, this time for operating a vehicle in Florida while his license was suspended. This episode reinforced the impression that Diddy was frequently in trouble with the authorities, even if it seemed insignificant in light of his other legal troubles. Not only did his legal issues garner attention, the public was also critical of his commercial activities. The National Labor Committee said in 2003 that Honduran labor regulations had been broken by manufacturers, making Diddy's St. John clothing line. A picture of subpar working conditions was presented by the complaints, which also included claims of body searches, inadequate pay, and forced overtime. Improvements were made in the factory following demand from multiple organizations, and Diddy investigated the charges. Even though he handled these labor issues, the episode cast doubt on his ability to manage his brand and business endeavors. Diddy was involved in a court battle with Kirk Burroughs, who had assisted in starting Bad Boy Records, in addition to labor-related disputes. Kirk said that Diddy had threatened him to get rid of his business shares. Nevertheless, the statute of limitations led to the dismissal of this complaint, along with numerous others that followed Diddy. Diddy has been haunted by a series of lawsuits, accusations, and settlements that have culminated in recent occurrences that have baffled the entertainment business and religious organizations alike. The most unsettling charges against Diddy may have surfaced in 2023 when R&B singer Cassie, who had dated and worked with him, filed a lawsuit charging Diddy of serious abuse. Cassie alleges that Diddy exposed her to a hazardous and violent lifestyle that included control over her personal and professional life, coercion, and violence. Beginning when Cassie was just 19 and Diddy was 37, Cassie said that their relationship was characterized by frequent physical abuse, including one particularly startling event in 2016. Surveillance footage from that incident showed Diddy viciously beating Cassie outside an elevator while chasing her along a Los Angeles hotel corridor. Parts of Cassie's lawsuit, which claimed Diddy became angry, drunk, and physically violent during their relationship, were supported by the video. Even though Diddy called his actions in the video unacceptable and apologized publicly, the incident damaged his reputation and resulted in an undisclosed settlement just one day after the case was filed. But when Diddy was charged with racketeering and sex trafficking in September 2024, the most shocking and latest accusations came to light. Startling information about Diddy's use of his position and authority to intimidate and manipulate women into granting his wishes was made public by the indictment. A major turning point in Diddy's life and career occurred as a result of this arrest. Despite his attorney's astounding $50 million bond bid, the U.S. magistrate judge refused him bail due to fears of witness intimidation. Diddy is being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn for the time being. Diddy adamantly disputes the accusation. A major turning point in Diddy's life and career occurred as a result of this arrest. Despite his legal team's astounding $50 million bond bid, the U.S. magistrate judge refused him bail, citing fears of witness intimidation. As he adamantly refutes the accusations and vows to defend his name and reputation, Diddy is being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. The guy behind the empire, Diddy, has come under fire for his alleged violent, mischievous, and manipulative behavior, as well as for his numerous run-ins with the authorities. Despite his insistence on his innocence, the court cases he has to deal with have presented a complicated and unsettling image of a man whose deeds still haunt him. Religious leaders like T.D. Jakes and other communities have been affected by the news of Diddy's arrest and the seriousness of the allegations. T.D. Jakes has frequently walked a cautious line at the nexus of popularity, influence, and spirituality. While the relationship between the two may not be immediately apparent, someone like T.D. Jakes, whose message is frequently about faith, accountability, and atonement, found himself in a difficult situation when learning about Diddy's background. Given the strength of the evidence and the mounting public pressure, it was difficult to overlook the arrest and the seriousness of the accusations. Being a spiritual leader, T.D. Jakes was forced to deal with the scandal, in some ways since people in his congregation and the general public looked to him for direction. Reasons T.D. Jakes could be fearful. How come T.D. Jakes might be in a panic now? His connection to Diddy and the continuous public scrutiny around Diddy's contentious behavior and way of life could hold the key to the answer. Although T.D. Jakes did not specifically mention Diddy in his latest sermon, many associated his remarks with the unsettling footage of Diddy reportedly assaulting Cassie Ventura, his girlfriend at the time. Outrage has been generated by Diddy's alleged abusive conduct towards Ventura. Megachurch pastor Jamal Bryant has called for Diddy's arrest and demanded that he take responsibility for his actions. Even while T.D. Jakes stopped short of demanding Diddy be put in jail, he nonetheless denounced the unsettling actions, stating it was painful to see the pictures of the abuse. T.D. Jakes addressed this by stating that the video made him think of his own girls and that it made him angry and frustrated with the circumstances. Even though T.D. Jakes refrained from naming Diddy specifically, his mere mention of the matter indicates that he was conscious of the mounting public demand to confront it. T.D. Jakes is a well-known moral leader whose opinion is respected both in the public and religious domains. However, T.D. Jakes may suddenly find himself embroiled in a larger scandal, despite his stand against abuse. The disclosure of T.D. Jakes' relationship with Diddy is one of the main causes of his potential concern. According to American radio personality and blogger Jason Lee, T.D. Jakes was one of the many prominent people who have attended Diddy's notorious parties. This was said in a recent interview. Lee made it clear that attending one of Diddy's events does not imply that a person engaged in improper behavior. But the very fact that T.D. Jakes' name is being mentioned in this situation has sparked suspicion and raised hands. Jason Lee enumerated a long list of notable people who have been to Diddy's events, including Beyoncé, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Jay-Z, and others. He made it clear that while these people were in Diddy's residence, they weren't necessarily involved in any dubious activities. However, for someone like T.D., who has based his career on morality, faith, and leadership, being linked to Diddy during such a turbulent period might cause serious image issues. A Facebook user purportedly uploaded a list of celebrities, including T.D. Jakes, who were purportedly present at Diddy's contentious parties in addition to Lee's remarks. Even if the list's veracity is still up in the air, the association by itself might be harmful, particularly in light of the allegations made against Diddy. The timing of these discoveries couldn't be worse for T.D. Jakes. The preacher has dedicated decades of effort to developing his reputation as a spiritual and moral leader. Being connected, even remotely, to someone who is the target of such grave accusations poses a threat to the respect and trust he has earned in his community. Even if Diddy is alone responsible for his acts, the pastor's role and judgment are called into doubt given that T.D. Jakes' name is being linked to him. Did T.D. Jakes know about the contentious elements of Diddy's lifestyle? What drove him to continue being associated with the music mogul? T.D. Jakes has found solace in individuals such as Kon Henderson, the founder of the Lighthouse Church and Ministries, amongst the scrutiny. Henderson has defended T.D. Jakes from the rumors by stating that he is devoted to him no matter what. Henderson talked about his close personal relationship with T.D. Jakes in an interview, comparing it to that of a father and son. Henderson said that T.D. Jakes had supported him through significant life events, such as concluding real estate transactions or reaching personal goals. Henderson also brought out the public's propensity to emphasize the negative. He contended that people tend to focus on scandal and controversy for longer than is necessary, which might unfairly demonize persons like T.D. Jakes. Henderson made it plain that he was devoted to someone who had treated him well and would not allow public opinion to change that. Henderson's unwavering support of T.D. Jakes yet emphasizes how serious the situation is. Henderson's decision to publicly support T.D. Jakes indicates that there may be genuine worries about the potential damage this incident could do to the pastor's reputation. Henderson's unwillingness to participate in conjecture on T.D. Jakes' connection to Diddy implies that T.D. Jakes supporters are wary of bringing up the connection. Other disputes involving T.D. Jakes. Though T.D. Jakes has established himself as one of the world's most powerful preachers, problems have occasionally followed him, contributing to the discussion of why he would be worried about current occurrences connected to Diddy. A new resurgence of controversy centers on an unexpected relationship between T.D. Jakes and Diddy. Diddy and rapper Maze, who was previously signed to his Bad Boy label, have been at odds for a long time. Diddy has long been accused by Mace of undervaluing his contributions and denying him the chance to publish his work. Mace revealed a startling accusation in a song named Oracle Vu, The Liberation of Mason Bitha. Diddy had a contract with T.D. Jakes. He went so far as to suggest that Diddy never paid him because of this purported arrangement. In the song, Mace rapped, "Diddy never paid me because he had a deal with T.D. Jakes." Raising suspicions, this remark seemed to imply some kind of covered deal between the pastor and the rapper. Though the lyrics were ambiguous, they sparked conjecture regarding the nature of this connection. Was Mace claiming that T.D. Jakes was a part of his and Diddy's money dispute? Or was he hinting that Diddy was avoiding paying Mace for his debt by utilizing his connection to T.D. Jakes? Although T.D. Jakes and Diddy have not publicly addressed this particular allegation, the incident generated conversation. Some recall an event from 2014 in which Diddy gave $1 million to the Potter's House, the church founded by T.D. Jakes. Diddy stated at the time that he wanted to help T.D. Jakes with his ministry because he was inspired by his sermons. Critics questioned if Diddy had any hidden agendas, though, given his history with musicians like as the one Mace described. The mystery is heightened by the lack of explanation from either side. It leaves room for conjecture regarding the actual backstage events involving T.D. Jakes and Diddy. The 2009 arrest of T.D. Jakes' son Germaine Jakes was another significant scandal that damaged his reputation. Germaine was detained in a Dallas park during a police sting operation for reportedly asking an undercover police officer to have gay sex. Because T.D. Jakes is a well-known preacher and the founder of one of the biggest megachurches in the nation, news of the arrest was widely reported. Germaine approached an undercover detective, revealed himself, and acted inappropriately, according to the arrest affidavit. The episode was even more embarrassing because it happened close to T.D. Jakes' church, the Potter's House, by a few blocks. Despite this, T.D. Jakes maintained his devotion to his religious work and his following. Still, this was clearly a trying time for the preacher because his family members' private lives were in the public eye. Over time, T.D. Jakes has accumulated a substantial fortune. He is well known for his multi-million-dollar estate, fancy automobiles, and high-profile events that he hosts. Some have chastised him for what they see to be excess. But many of his supporters view this as evidence of his success and blessings. T.D. Jakes' position on LGBT+ rights was yet another matter that propelled him to the forefront of public discussion. A 2015 interview raised a lot of questions about whether T.D. Jakes' opinions on same-sex marriage had changed. T.D. Jakes used the terms evolved and evolving in the interview to characterize his method of ministering to LGBT people. According to headlines, T.D. Jakes has embraced LGBT+ rights a view that some media sources took as a softening of his position on same-sex marriage. Diddy Jakes, though, didn't waste any time in outlining his stance. He said on social media that while he does not support same-sex marriage, he respects the individual's legal rights who do. Diddy Jakes emphasized that his opinions were based on scripture and had not changed, expressing surprise that his remarks had been misrepresented. Given the amount of attention these controversies have received, it makes sense that Diddy Jakes could be under pressure. In light of his efforts to preserve his reputation and the legacy of his ministry, the preacher may be concerned about the continuous scrutiny of his personal and professional life, regardless of the veracity of the accusations.
He's offering a description of crazy, but when you start getting in certain areas, they're not going to actually be compassionate for what's going on with him, or because he's not crazy where he doesn't know what he's saying. He knows exactly what he's saying.
There is a Britney Spears connection in the new Diddy lawsuit. Some of the people named were also the ones involved in Britney Spears' conservatorship, and now they are being dragged down with Diddy.
That not only was Corey Gamble extremely close to Kim Porter and Diddy, he was there. He was there when the coroners arrived to Kim Porter's house after 911 was called. Am I crazy? That's Corey Gamble, 100%. Not in the blue, the one right behind him.
When the feds raided Puffy's houses, they found tapes with evidence of Kris Jenner being part of some criminal activities.
One of the key linchpins is Corey Gamble. Corey Gamble, the boyfriend of Pimp Mama Kris Jenner.
24 hours before the raid, Kim Kardashian decides to unfollow Diddy, right?
Nobody else?
So who was with you this weekend?
A bunch of my friends.
Diddy, Quincy, Justin Bieber,
So far,
French
so good.
Montana.
Do you even know half the people you're naming?
No.
I'm a Scorpio. The things that, the cold words I have for making love should not be on the Ellen show.
This is how it happened. I met her that night with Ross and Meek, cause she had went to like a Ross concert or something earlier in that day. And I went there. I didn't get her number at the studio. I went back to my crib, and I had a puff. I'm like, yo, I saw Chloe. I want her to come with me to this thing that I had. Cause when I saw her in the studio, I asked her, I was like, yo, you want to come with me to this show? She was like, yeah. But I never grabbed her number right there. I had a Puff. I'm like, yo, you got her number? And Puff sent her a text like, yo, French wants your number. She was like, give it to him. Then I got her number. I texted her, and we start kicking it.
Yeah, I think you and me were at Puffy's son's birthday party in LA.
Yeah.
And the two of you were hanging out. I remember you guys introduced us.
Yeah.
At that point. I was like, oh, can I take a picture with her? And you're like, no. She don't take pictures. Like,
Kim and Khloe Kardashian are attempting to get out of a serious controversy. They had allegedly assisted in covering up Diddy's illicit operations, which ranged from fraud to trafficking prostitutes for his extravagant parties. It appears that the Kardashians were far more intrigued by Diddy's manner of life than anyone had realized. Khloe even acknowledged that she had attended one of those parties, jokingly bringing up Justin Bieber, Diddy's steps, and Quincy, as she described how everyone was just hanging out in their underwear. However, that is merely the very beginning. People are also questioning whether Kim and Khloe were hiding something from the public for a long time behind these events. And the story doesn't end there. Kim, her mother Kris Jenner, and a fictitious church they founded have an unsettling relationship that involves money laundering. Diddy's illicit funds could have been easily laundered through this church, California Community Church, under the appearance of donations. Even worse, previous pictures of Kim attending Diddy's parties have surfaced, showing her in the center of the action.
Go to bed. I haven't been to bed yet.
You haven't?
I want to be Clay when I grow up, Court. I got on a plane at 5:30 a.m. Go to this party. I think half the people there were butt naked.
At 5:30 a.m., I boarded a plane to attend this party. I estimate that almost half of the attendees were nude. It would have delighted you. It all began then when Khloe Kardashian made a shocking admission that quickly went viral on social media. Khloe casually acknowledged attending one of Diddy's infamous parties in an open video. She continued by describing the scenario at one of these parties, which also included prominent personalities like Quincy Combs, Diddy Stepson, and Justin Bieber. She said that everyone was doing sensuous things and moving around without clothing on. Hearing Khloe admit it was upsetting enough for many people. Her choice of Justin Bieber, who was still relatively young and part of Diddy's social circle at the time, was ultimately what ignited the debate. The notion of a teenage Bieber going to these adult-themed parties caused people to take notice and start investigating Diddy's. Following Khloe's revelation, fans looked into her relationship with Diddy, and what they discovered was even more unsettling. Her relationship with Diddy seems to go back years. It wasn't just that she occasionally attended his parties. Khloe's carefree demeanor throughout the confession further hindered her efforts, giving the impression that she had attended such parties in the past. As information from witnesses and insiders started to come to light,